There, this is Susan of Susan Harmon Experience, and I have with me today my dear friend,
Lindsay
Godfree. And Lindsay, some of you may have already heard Lindsay's interview that I did with her on Susan Harmon Experience She on KKNW. If you haven't heard that, then go back to KKNW, look through their archives, Susan Harmon Experience, and look for the one with Lindsay Godfree. I don't remember the date on that. Do you, Lindsay?
I believe it was the 16th
Of
of August.
16th of August, we're in the 2000s now. Why am I still in the 20th century? 2019. 2019. Okay, 2019. And this, my friends, is one of the things we talked about on the radio. This little book that I have my fingers over, Awakening Consciousness. This is basically Lindsay's story.
Right, Susan. This is the book that I wrote about my awakening experience that I had in March of 2015, and I found myself in another state of consciousness, in a different dimension all of a sudden, and I had no idea what happened to me, but everything was love. Everything, there was no fear. And for me, that was huge difference because I've been afraid of almost everything.
All your life?
All my life.
And what do you think caused that initial fear for you in terms of your life? And I realize that this is what got you out of it, but why were you a prisoner of fear?
That's an interesting question because I didn't have any traumatic events in my childhood. But
your whole childhood was traumatic.
Because I was a really sensitive person.
Uh-huh.
And maybe a lot of people who are listening are going to be empathic the way that I am. And it's just really hard to live in this third dimensional reality we find ourselves in.
It truly is a difficult reality to be in. We've forgotten that we are creatures of creation, that we have that ability, because so much that happens in this dimension tries to keep us down, keep us structured, keep us in these boxes. And for some of us, we don't like boxes.
That's for sure.
Break out of the box, I say!
And in fact, we're such amazing individuals that if we truly could have any idea how powerful we are,
yes,
we would change everything right now. And we are really powerful beings, and we do need to recognize that and step into that. And that is kind of the message that I was given on the day that I had my awakening is, guess what? Life is not what you thought it was, and you are bigger than you could imagine, as are we all.
And this is an important thing. Lindsay and I met because she came and did a talk at the Arizona Enlightenment Center. And in that group, we go around the circle and people say who they are. And what do I always say? I am the light. And I usually follow it with, as are you.
Oh, okay. I haven't been enough to know that.
Yeah, that's my line.
That's your line.
And the reason I say that is not to, like I'm so wonderful. I am wonderful. You're wonderful.
Yes.
And you guys are wonderful. Everyone watching this is wonderful human being and wondrous human beings. So we're full of wonder, and we're full of love, and we're full of life, and yet we let these things that don't even matter control how we think, how we feel, and what we're doing. And that's insane. It's like we're living in a prison, and the fear is the padlock on our cell.
That's right. And I think that, people are thinking maybe the opposite of love is hate. But the opposite of love is actually fear. And
Absolutely.
If we had no fear, and that's the state of consciousness I found myself in, which was totally foreign to me. As I said, I was afraid of everything. No fear, only love.
How can you hate?
I found myself giving away money and blessing people, and it was a little weird.
It was a lot weird.
It was a lot weird. And so I said,
weird is good.
How am I supposed to operate in this world like that? Because now I knew who I really was. And all of us, I think, are coming to a higher level of consciousness.
Waking up. Wake up. Ding, 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 ding.
And many are awakening and going through similar experience. I was explaining it to some guy who said, well, so you had a near-death experience. And I was like, No, it was a nearly almost alive experience.
It was a fully alive
experience.
Exactly.
Where I could feel into the trees and the nature around me, and I could feel into the cosmos as part of myself. And it's really a difficult thing for people to explain, but I attempted it in my book. And
I honestly say, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Go.
However, I just want to tell you guys seriously, this little book right here. I'm a real snot. So many of these little books, I'm like, oh yeah, right. So when I first got the book, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and look through this. I was absolutely amazed at how much wisdom is in this small, slim volume. I mean, every page had something good on it, and very frankly, I was surprised at just how good and how well written it is. With so much information. I mean, it's not a really thick book, but it has a lot in it. And I know you and your mom are working on another book right now.
We are working on a book that I called Manifesting Destiny with Sacred Geometry and Sound.
And you can't see it in the background, but right now I work in a 7-foot base copper pyramid. So sacred geometry is very near and dear to me.
Sacred geometry is so amazing, and that's my mother's expertise. And both of us are sound tuning healers. We use the tuning forks in our healing. My
friend David did the healing forks. David Hatch. He was a great guy, and his fiance, when he died, Christy Sears, started working with the tuning forks too. And I know a lot of people do work with those. I work with my own voice.
Perfect.
You've heard me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But sound is really important to us. First, there was the Word,
exactly.
And the Word was good, and the Word was God, this kind of thing then in the Scriptures. So if you look, what was that? At lunch today, we had lunch together, and there was another gentleman sitting at our table who was talking about, he called him a Buddhist Christian, and that he'd been a Buddhist for 20 years, and then Jesus came to him and told him to read the Bible, which he did. So he started teaching the Bible verse, putting the Buddha verse that matched it next to us, and the Hindu, and what else? I mean, several other religions all together that say the same things, and all these different these different teachings. So, which I find, it's not just the teaching of treat others the way you wish to be treated, and treat others the way they want to be treated. Mm-hmm. It's not just that's one of the simple things that's in all the religions, but there's a lot of similarity in all these. Of course, the religions we're mentioning now are all patriarchal. We're going to get more into mama and the great feminine, but not today. Not today. Today we're just going to talk about the modules that you're doing that are going to go along with the new book. And you're going to be doing a lot online.
That's my intention that I'm putting out, and I'm starting to prepay the interest for you folks who are interested in the sacred geometry and sound, as well as a workbook of awakening consciousness, finding a larger version of self. How do you do that? How did I get to my awakening, and how can I help you navigate your awakening process, because it is a process. It is a process of awakening that we all go through. We're all going through, and once it starts, you're in.
You can't stop it. It's like I kind of compare it to many years ago. A really long time ago, I could run out on an electric bill. I could move, owing rent, owing the electric bill, and it didn't matter because those bums, they had all the money in the world, and I didn't have any, and how dare they charge me so damn much anyway, blah, blah, blah. And then finally it occurred to me, I had made a deal. I had made a contract. And whether I thought that they deserved that amount of money, I'd still made a contract, so I needed to keep the contract that I had made on that. So I couldn't jump out on a utility bill, because it wasn't that it hurt or didn't hurt the utility company. It's what it did to me, to my soul, who I was. So it's the same kind of thing, don't you think?
I think that we all need to live in integrity.
Yes.
And that important. True happiness is when we have inner integrity of being in alignment, head, heart, and spirit, where we follow what we say we believe.
Yes.
And we are our authentic selves. And it takes some maneuvering to unravel, who are you really?
And are you separate from other people? Are we all connected? I mean, those are the kinds of things that we ask. Well, are you tribal in your thinking? Do you know what I mean? You don't belong to my tribe. Therefore, you are a non-person. Almost every group of people have called themselves the people.
The people.
The people. But if we got that we're all the people, that all of us, wherever we are, whatever we're doing, we are one. It doesn't matter if we speak English, or we speak Spanish, or we speak Swahili, or, do you know what I mean? Any other language. It doesn't matter our skin tone. Both of us are light skin toned. But I have relatives that are multiple skin tones.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that makes a difference. So I have relatives and non-relatives, but they're all relatives. If we start understanding that we're all one people, no matter what we look like, talk like, think like, everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants that. Everybody wants shelter and food.
Mm-hmm.
Those we all have in common, no matter where we live, what our culture is, what our religion is, what our politics are. None of that matters. We all want our full bellies, like Hote-san, the Japanese god of happiness. A lot of people mistake images of Hote-san with Buddha because he's got this big belly. Mm-hmm. He has a sack of money over his shoulder, and he's always laughing.
Oh, the laughing Buddha.
It's not the laughing Buddha. Hote-san is a god. He's one of the 7 Japanese gods. But Hote is my favorite. He's my favorite because he's happy.
Mm.
And he's the god of happiness. And he's happy because he has a full belly, sack of money, and just plain happy.
Well, when you get down to it, we are all the same. When you get down to the basics.
Yeah.
And where we're moving in our evolution is into unity consciousness.
Absolutely.
And we will discover the unity that we have with everyone and everything. This includes animals. This includes our beloved planet, our Mother Gaia, that we need to take care of. And as we move into this energy consciousness, we are going to find ourselves. We are going to find the love that we've been seeking.
That we are.
And it's going to be really an exciting time. So my intention is to be an awakening mentor. If you would like to contact me.
That's good. How do they contact you?
You go to lindsaygodfree.com.
Godfree. Lindsay Godfree. Just go to her website, contact her, and be awakened. I'm awake. You awake?
I'm awake.
Hey,
Are
we're
you
all
awake? Are you awake?
awake? Until later, my friends, when you get to awake, we'll stay awake waiting for you. Bye
Yes,
for
we will.
now.